Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Walker Venrick with Sharp Sports Network, bringing you my top 3 plays for this 6-game NBA slate here on January 7th. I hope everybody is having a great day so far. I'm really excited to jump into this one with you guys. We have quite a few injuries that are still up in the air for now. We got some questionable guys that are definitely going to help dictate where the chalk falls on this slate and where some of the best plays actually are as well. So we're going to jump right into this one, though. I'm going to talk about my top 3 plays with the injury news that we have as of now. It is 2:12 p.m. So jumping right into this one, though, over here on DraftKings, the very first play I want to talk to you guys about is the guy on the cover, and some of you guys might not even know who that is. That is Dillon Brooks for this Memphis Grizz team. I absolutely love Dillon Brooks tonight. He is in an amazing spot. He has a 23% usage rate on the season and should play around 30 minutes or so tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get closer to 33, and that would be really, really ideal. But around 30 would be solid. Anything over that's just gravy. But this is essentially the best possible matchup for a guy like Dillon Brooks, who will see all of his minutes tonight at the 2 or the 3 for this Grizz team. The Wolves actually allow the second most average fantasy points per game to opposing small forwards and the third most average fantasy points per game to opposing shooting guards. And when he's seeing all of his minutes there, it just spells for a monster game from Dillon Brooks. I absolutely love this spot for him. It's really as good as it gets. He's been shooting very, very well as of late. As of the last couple games, his percentages are through the roof. These are absolutely great numbers. I love how many times he's been pulling up from beyond the arc. All these perimeter shots are very critical towards his real points, but that's a bulk of where his fantasy points come from. He did get into foul trouble against Phoenix, which was kind of interesting because he still did play that 30-minute total. But he's coming off of a day's rest, which is always good when we're playing a guy that I think, like Dillon Brooks, he's not totally reliant on real points to accumulate for all of his fantasy points, but that's definitely where a bulk of his fantasy points come from. So if he can avoid the foul trouble, that's a huge deal for Dillon Brooks in this spot tonight. And I don't really think it's going to be a major issue, but that's not something that I'm here to try and predict. But this Memphis team should be looking at him as a primary scorer on their offense tonight, and I think Dillon Brooks is just in a smash spot. But jumping over here to Fantasy Draft, my second play I want to talk to you guys about is going to be Darius Garland. All 3 of these guys in this video, I think I've only mentioned one of the guys. The last guy that I'm going to talk about, I think I've mentioned him once. I don't think I've ever mentioned Dillon Brooks or Darius Garland in any of my previous videos here, and they are both in great spots. Darius Garland has a 21% usage rate on the year and is going to be in line for probably around 35 minutes or so tonight. He's been playing 34 and 35 over the last 4 games, which is a huge uptick from where he was at. But that 21% usage rate has only been better with some of the injuries that have been plaguing this Cavs team here. The matchup against Detroit is really amazing for a guy like Garland, who is more of a facilitator. He's got decent assist upside. He doesn't at all just rely on the real points. That's definitely a big part of his game, but he can also facilitate this offense. We saw against Charlotte, he put up the 14-5-8 line, which is really strong. He does have good assist upside, and I think that's actually going to be something that he thrives with here against the Pistons. On the season, he averages 0.69 fantasy points per minute, but over this last 5-game stint, that's actually over 0.8 fantasy points per minute, which is a significant increase, especially for a guy that's coming in at this low of ownership, projected ownership, I should say, and at this salary that we're getting him at, the price tag. It's really friendly. I feel like I love him as a salary saver in cash and GPPs tonight, and think he could be in for one of his best games of the season potentially tonight. Detroit has been getting shredded by guards all year long. They have remained in the bottom 6 in the league in average allowed fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. I believe they're 5th or 6th worst right now, but I mean they're just fluctuating from being the worst to being close to the worst. So this looks like a smash spot for Darius Garland, and I don't want to miss out on him. Coming over here to FanDuel, the last player I want to talk about, I've mentioned him once or twice before for sure. That is Dennis Schroeder for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. He has a 28% usage rate on the year and should see 33-plus minutes tonight in what should be a competitive game. I think 32 minimum is a safe projection for his minutes floor, but I think that I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 35-plus. This is a 2.5 spread game here against the Nets. I believe it's live 2.5. I think it opened at -2. But I love this spot for Dennis Schroeder. Everything just got better with the injury news that came out. Danilo Gallinari has been ruled out for this contest. I mentioned Schroeder has a 28% usage rate, but with Danilo Gallinari off the court, that bumps up all the way to 32%. He plays a ton of minutes with Gallinari, and now that he won't be, his usage rate is going to go up a ton, all the way up to 32%, which is the highest on the team. And I'm looking to target him in this game against a Brooklyn team that allows the most average fantasy points per game. Currently, I know I just said Detroit kind of fluctuates around there. Brooklyn has been too. Brooklyn currently allows the most average fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. Dennis Schroeder is going to see a ton of minutes at the one when he's on the court tonight, and I absolutely love him in this spot. I think he should crush this price tag. One of the most appealing things to me about Dennis Schroeder tonight is if you go plus or minus 500 on both sites, or all three sites, if you go plus or minus, I would say 1,000 on FantasyDraft, but plus or minus 500 on FanDuel and DraftKings, there are so many other much more appealing options in that price range. Like over here on DraftKings, for example, if we pull up Dennis Schroeder, if we look at other guys in this price range, well, that's not going to work. We got to scroll down the utility list, but he's right here at 6,500. If we go plus or minus 500, we have Andrew Wiggins, we have Chris Paul, we have Jaren Jackson, Gorgie Dang if Cat misses. We have Steven Adams, Derrick Rose, even Tristan Thompson. We have so many other appealing options in this price range. It just makes for a smash spot for Dennis Schroeder to come in at low ownership as well. It should be a really strong leverage play. I don't think a lot of the field's going to be on him. I think that with the Gallinari injury, that might increase the ownership a little bit for him, but I think people are going to kind of look at it a little bit too black and white and target guys like Chris Paul and SGA, who are great plays on the slate, but I think Schroeder is going to be the biggest beneficiary of this injury because his usage gets the biggest bump. But regardless, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you did enjoy this video. I will be public live streaming on Twitch in just about 2 hours around 4:30 Eastern. Make sure you come out to that. The link is in the description below. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. We greatly appreciate your support. You guys have been nothing but supportive over the past week or so, and it's been absolutely amazing. You guys have been nothing but good to me, honestly, since I started here with Sharp Sports, so I do appreciate all of the kind words you guys leave in the comments and all the positive feedback. So make sure you come out to the stream today. I'd love to see you guys out there, and thank you guys over there. And make sure you get your questions answered by me live on that stream. It's really fun when you guys ask the questions in the chat, and I get to just respond to you right there. So come on out to that. But if you are unable to make it, then I will see you tomorrow with my top 3 plays for Wednesday. So see you tomorrow or at the live stream today. Peace and good luck tonight.